Ash from Waz Up TV joins the ET Stand podcast for an opposition fan preview. Next.
For over 50 years, people have come to see the Sharks play. Talent, skill, speed, intelligence, elite-level athleticism. That's not these guys. Biased, one-eyed, opinionated. More often wrong than right. They make up for their complete lack of talent with pure dribble, gibberish, and enthusiasm. This is the ET Stand podcast.
Coming to you live from Barnia Bay. I'm out in the Shire early for this weekend's must-win Sharks clash against the New Zealand Warriors. We've got legend bro, Ash from Waz Up TV. Coming along. I tell you what, for Sharks fans out there, Ash is very knowledgeable on the strategy and tactics of rugby league. So we're going to dive deep into his thoughts on the Warriors coming up, how he thinks the Warriors might be able to beat the Sharkies, and then maybe ask him what he thinks of our finals campaign coming up as we cue down the up Cronulla music, which we're hoping that we hear on Saturday night. Ash, mate, welcome.
Hey, go, my brother. It's good to have you on Waz Up TV, but it's great to be on the ET Stand as well, man. I'm honoured, bro. I'm honoured. But with all that talk around, the weekend coming up, I saw that you did the old the history of the streaks that you've had. So hopefully the jinx comes to fruition, and we end up getting a win this weekend for Shaun Johnson's last one, eh?
Oh, that sounds good. Yes, on Tuesday night we did a video on the top Sharks winning streaks against various other teams and where that sat. And as we know, streaks don't tend to work out when you talk about them. So, but yeah, welcome to the ET Stand. Thanks to everyone watching us on YouTube. If you're not a subscriber, do hit the subscribe button, Ash. It just helps those YouTube channels, don't they? It just helps so much. It also helps notify other Sharks fans about Sharks-related content. And then for anyone listening on Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Spotify, etc., do give us a follow as well so you can be notified of all of our upcoming content as we head into the final series. We got a lot planned, whereas Ash on Waz Up TV, well, he's taking a little bit of a break.
Or I'll be talking about Sharkies. So welcome to Sharks Up TV with Ash and Levon.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the Sharkies have got a nice New Zealand history in terms of players that we've had. Certainly Britain Nikora. Yeah. Geez, I still can't get that right. Nicola.
You'll get it, bro. You'll get it. It takes time, my man. I know.
Takes time. So the Sharkies have had a nice history of New Zealand internationals over the years. The Sorensen brothers, of course. Gerard Beale, legendary. And you can see in my little description here who will win. It's not the Shaun Johnson Cup. It's the Gerard Beale Cup.
The Beale Cup. Oh, bro, you could put so many different names in this cup, right? The Luke Metcalf Cup, the Kurt Capewell Cup, the Shaun Johnson Cup, the Gerard Beale Cup. So many different names. Adam Fanor-Blake's going to you guys next year, so next year could be the Adam Fanor-Blake Cup. Who knows, bro?
I think that's certainly right. Mate, the Warriors season. Let's get into chatting footy. The Warriors season. Yeah. I thought the Warriors looked great against us in round one and were unlucky with Egan getting injured in the 60th minute. What's gone wrong for the Warriors this season, mate?
Just a whole multitude of things, bro. Like, as a normal fan, I hate bringing up excuses, right? I always feel like when I try to answer these questions, it does feel like excuses. But I think there's a multitude of things that just happened for us this year. I think, number one, we haven't had that one win like we had unfortunately, it was against you guys last year where I felt like the group just came together. I felt like, that in that game, the boys just learned how to win a game tough and grindy. And this year, we had that one opportunity against the Manly Seagulls where we were, brought it all the way back, ending with the draw. We had a lot of good opportunities in that game. And even our game to start the season, right? Like a very, very close game. Looked like we were coming home with it, but your defense held out. And those sort of games, like for you guys, that was a big game for you guys as well. You showed defensively you can hold a team out, all that sort of stuff. And I feel like your group bought into that. For us, on the opposite end, we learned that we couldn't get it done. You know what I mean? And I feel like that takes another hit to our confidence. Then to add with injuries on top of that, we haven't played with our first spine all the way up till last week was actually the first week we actually played with our first choice spine this year, which is really disappointing. Multitude of different things, bro. Obviously, rumours about a disjointed player group. But hey, you know, it just wasn't meant to be this season. I still love Webby. I still trust in the group that we have, and also like the New South Wales Cup team. Our development is getting in order. But yeah, obviously this year's been an ultimate failure, you know, overall. So just look into next year, my bro.
You mentioned team disharmony. And there's a lot of talk around Aiden Fanua-Blake when he goes to teams and decides that he's signed out of teams. And he comes a bit of heat. Do you think that's fair? Oh, wow. Straight to it. And so do you think he's been the reason the Warriors have struggled this season?
I think it's good because it's definitely a really good point to think about. I thought, you know, when all the news came out, like, I think for me, you can go check out my TikTok. I made a video on it telling fans not to worry. I think that he's, like, professional enough. I think he's gone past that point that, you know, I hate to single out a player and say that that's the reason why the player group's been completely off him. But I don't think it definitely helps having a player of, you know, he was like a leader in the middle that we had. You know, obviously last year was absolutely incredible. And individually this year, he's been incredible as well. But as in a leader type of, like, you know, I think we needed someone that had full buy-in for the season. And unfortunately, it did look like in moments that he didn't have that. I think the big notable one, obviously, that Panthers game where he ended up getting dropped the next week, where we've had played the Dolphins. It was one of our better wins, but obviously all the news coming out that he just didn't get with the playing group after the game and stuff. It was moments like that. There was photos, you know, online of the Manly game where he was standing away from the group. There's been multiple times. I unfortunately went down to the Titans game where we got smoked by 60, and watching it with my own eyes, like, he was just completely off. But again, I don't want to put it all the way down to just being him. But I feel like he definitely was a little bit of a factor. But one thing I would say though is, like, as a Sharkies man, that, you know, obviously you're getting Aiden Fanua-Blake. Individually, he's an incredible player, and I feel like when he has full buy-in and when he doesn't, he's not wanting to leave the club, all that sort of stuff. I think he'll play like really great footy for you guys, and you'll fall in love with him like we did over the years. And all those years that we had him before, I can't discredit him. You know, it's tough because this year went so bad, but he'll always be one of our best props that we've had in the Warriors, and that will never get, you know, shunned away from what this season was. So I do feel like that disharmony probably came from that camp a little bit there. But I would also say, like, Sharkies fans, don't get too worried about that. I'm sure that when he goes home in the Shire, looks after his family, he's settled down, I think he'll, like, perform to the fullest extent for the Sharkies next year. So I wouldn't worry too much about that.
Well, you mentioned leadership and players switching between Warriors and Sharks. The most notable one, I think, is definitely Shaun Johnson. How pleased were you at the return of Shaun Johnson to the Warriors? What was it, 3 seasons ago now?
Bro, ecstatic, man. Like, if you don't know my story, you know, Shaun Johnson is the main man that actually made me become a Warriors fan. So I'm actually a full Aussie bloke. Like, I'm Aussie. I have no New Zealand, like, in me, no Kiwi. My wife's half Samoan. She's got family in New Zealand. That's as close I get to New Zealand. Her cousin actually played for the inaugural NRLW women's side of Ivania Polite. So Shaun Johnson was the opening door to me becoming a Warriors fan, right? So I fell in love with the way he played football. I actually followed him all the way for his under-20s career. The headgear Shaun Johnson winning the premiership in the under-20s. He was incredible, bro. As soon as he touched the big stage, I just knew he was going to be like a talent that no one's seen before. Like, you know, we had Benjis of the past, but I do feel like he was a different iteration on Benji. But unfortunately, injuries, as you guys know, has been the biggest drawback to Shaun Johnson throughout his whole career. And that's the reason why I do feel like he never got to the highest of highs. He won a Golden Boot. He done a lot of amazing things. Almost won Dally M next year. I think we can all say that. Maybe
he was going to win.
Dally M next year, right? Everyone was on that, right? But yeah, bro, like, it was great to have him back. And it was good to see that 1 year that we had with him. He performed to his highest potential under Webby in that period there, where he just looked like he put a lot of things together. And yeah, I just love having him around the club, bro. It sucks that he's leaving, but yeah, all love to Shaun Johnson, bro.
What happened with that Daly M? He got injured at the end, didn't he? It was really tight.
Bro, I honestly, like, again, rosy colored glasses, bro. I'll put him on. Warriors fan. Bro, I don't know how he lost that. Honestly, he was our, like, you know, there's a lot of players that played amazing for the season. Obviously, Aiden Fanua-Blake would have picked up a couple of points from him and Daly M. You know, we had a lot of players that stood out. Obviously, we got the Daly M Winger of the Year with Dallin. We got the Daly M Front Row of the Year with Aiden Fanua-Blake. Well, we had the Coach of the Year with, you know, Webby in that. It would have been so good to top it off with, you know, we got the Halfback of the Year with Shaun Johnson, but he should have got Daly M too, bro. Like, I think we all agree that throughout the whole season, he was probably the best player for the whole season. But give credit to, you know, Kalyn Ponga, that last, like, 10-round, you know, stint he went on. He did some incredible things too.
He did
but
play well.
I would have loved to see Shawnee get that one right.
He did certainly play well. What's your take on his time with the Sharks? How did you feel he played for us?
Honestly, we touched on this a little bit on Wise Up TV, bro. I really do feel like that one season he had, we know it was 2019, right? Because my memory's a little bit hazy, right? So 2019,
We had 3.
I'm pretty sure.
He had 3.
Yeah.
But there was one season.
Yeah.
It was the 2020 he was on fire.
It was the 2020, right? Okay, so 2020, 20 try assists, bro, with playing 16 games. Him and Britton Nicoda was like just connecting left, right, and centre. Like he was setting him up in the perfect places. I feel like that's one of the most underrated seasons in Sean Johnson's career. I feel like a lot of people just remember Sean Johnson at the Sharks as being a failure. Like a lot of people like that are not Sharks fans and that aren't Warriors fans would always look at that and being like, yeah, it was a failure of a season because the amount of injuries and that, which somewhat, yeah, there's a little bit to that, but I feel like that was an underrated season there that a lot of people forget about. And I feel like Shawnee, like he really helped out Britton at quarter in that really big time of need with Britton where he was in his development and he started to run those beautiful lines. Like he's possibly the best like line running edge back row in the competition, right? You would probably definitely agree being a Sharkies fan. And I feel like Shawnee
who's better, Ash?
Part of his game.
Who's better than Britton Nicola at those line angle runs?
The only argument you could ever probably put up, you could probably say Angus Crichton, but Angus does a lot of his work off the cuff as well. Like I love where Angus can step off his left, pump a couple of fans off and that. Bro, it's really tough. I honestly think that he's number one. I think he's got to be number one, bro. Like he reminds me of like a center playing edge back rower. Like, you know, he runs those beautiful lines. He's quick on his feet, but he's also got good ball playing as well. Really underrated second rower because I think we agree he's definitely up there top 3 edge back rower in the competition. Would you reckon? You got him number
I'd say so. Well, look, I'm a little bit biased, so you know, like I reckon he's absolutely terrific, and he had an effort play last week where we were ahead by 28 points or whatever it was, where he knocked the ball out with 5 to go after a Dragons long kicked and saved a try, and I think that just speaks to the effort plays of him as a footballer. Let's go. But anyway, let's go look at the team. Speaking of that, let's jump to this view. The Warriors team, here they are. So, look, who's going to win this match for you guys?
They're across the park, like the big one I'll be looking at is Luke Metcalf, right? You know, returning back to the Sharkies here, you know, big game for him. Obviously, start the first game of the season against the Sharkies, scoring a nice try against you guys. I think that filled him with a lot of confidence, obviously leaving you guys and stuff. And, you know, we love him to death at the Warriors. And I know you guys love him to death over there in the Sharkies and the Shire as well. But I think Luke Metcalf, you know, you all know about his speed. I feel like he's growing in his playmaking. Obviously, wanting to become the 7 when Sean Johnson does leave. So we definitely will be watching out for him. And then if you're looking across the other names, Tane Tuapiki as well, getting put back in that fullback jersey, has been killing it in Cup ever since he's been back there. He's got good ball playing. He reminds me of like he runs around like a Keanu Kinney / Jaden Campbell type of player. So get excited to see a little bit more out of him in the future. Unfortunately, we got Chancey there at the moment, who's usually our first choice and stuff. But when we see Tane step up on the big stage, he never disappoints. Like he did against the Panthers earlier on this year, where we got that nice win at Magic Round. Tane Tuapiki was a main key factor in that game, and he ended up getting the conversion to win the game for us. So those are the 2 names I'll definitely give to you. And also my last one, Adam Blake. Hopefully he shows you guys what he could do for you guys next year. And, you know, does it for our sort of thing. Because we all know Adam Blake, when he's on individually, he's a juggernaut. Just hopefully we can play off the back of that, right?
Well, hopefully not. These centers, Nicole Klokstad and Ali Lauatoa. How do I say that?
Yep.
Lauatoa.
Yeah, Lauatoa, bro. Yep.
Now, and Ali is a relationship of the great Ali Lauatiti, yeah?
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, he's a nephew of Ali Lauatiti, bro. So he's got good blood there.
How are those guys going to deal with the Sharkies centers, Sifa Talakai and Kale Hero?
So Sifa Talakai, full-time centre of the Sharkies, huh?
You know.
Nah, bro. I think Kale Hero has been incredible for you guys this year. Reminds me a lot of Valentine Holmes. I know you hear that a lot from multiple different content creators out there as well, but he does have that very similar sort of build. He runs very similar to him. But Sifa Talakai, we all know that when he gets put in that centre position, he's an absolute juggernaut. He's going to be...
isn't he?
Oh, bro, I do think that he will be playing on the right-hand side. I don't think they'll break up, Cal Ito from his preferred side on the opposite side, the left-hand side there.
Yeah.
So it would be the opposite side for Sifa. So I'm very interested to see how it plays out there. But you just know, as soon as you get the ball in his hands, bro, I think he's going to be a real tough ass to for Chance or Ali Leotar to take on. We're still figuring out where our boys will probably sit at centre as well, because Ali usually plays left side centre when he comes up to first grade, but with both these boys coming in due to both our injuries of Adam Bombay and Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, we're quite unsure of where Chance is going to play, whether he's going to play left side, being what he played in 6 against the Panthers, or he'll go right side. So either way, one of these two boys is going to have a real tough ask on their hands with Sifa Talakai, bro. We all know how big and strong that guy is.
Well, Kailero is also no slouch, so it's going to be tricky.
Yeah, he's unreal as well. Just ask Morgan Harper about Sifa Talakai as well, huh? We touched on him a little bit last night on the Wise Up TV show that we had, and that's what he produces. And Cal Ito is just getting better and better with more time that he gets in that centre position. Incredible talent.
Well, you referenced that Sifa Talakai performance against Manly. It is it's probably the most famous individual performance of one player dominating another that I can remember in the NRL, possibly ever. So Sharks fans will be heralded by the return of Sifa Talakai as we quickly go look at the Sharks. Oh no, that's the NRL women's team. There he is, the Sharkies team to take on the Warriors with Sifa Talakai in the centres. Nico Hines has been named on an extended bench. We're not sure if he's expected to play or not, but it's a big bench, the Sharkies bench, with Jack Williams, Royce Hunt, Hamlin, Ueli and Hazelton. Jumping back to your mob, what's the makeup of your bench? Tell us about your guys.
Yep, so obviously Freddie Lussick that we have on our bench is our utility / hooker rotation. So obviously if there's any other injuries on the field, he'll probably cover more in the middle, and they'll push either Dylan Walker or Kurt Cagwell out to centres depending on what injuries happen in the game. We're getting so used to injuries happening mid-game, so this is what it's really come down to. Tom Ale, Jazz Tavanga and Dimitri Sifakula, all three boys are amazing middle forwards. So, Tom Ale, a really good prop forward. Jazzy Tavanga as well, just a ton of heart in the middle. Dimitri Sifakula is our young kid that we have coming through. He's having his most consistent time in first grade currently at the moment, being, I think, his 3rd week in a row. He's been named on an interchange bench. He has a ton of talent, bro. Decent sized body, great footwork. Really, really excited to see him out in that football field against the Sharkies. Aggressive, bro. Really aggressive. But comparatively to the Sharkies bench, I would say you definitely have more size than us off the bench here. But I'd say, the footwork, stuff like that. I see our bench being a little bit more mobile, but you definitely got some big boys there that can move really well. And Royce Hunt, Thomas Hazelton, those sort of names. Even Hemi Uele, when he's gone, he's on and going. Hopefully with the injuries and all that away from his body, he can move quite well as well. So very, very good bench lineups here, both teams.
How do the Warriors typically score tries, mate? What's the strategy? How do they pull that? How are they going to get around or through the Sharks?
Honestly, this year, it's been a bit everywhere. Obviously, last year, notably, our right side was clicked together. With Sean Johnson back in the lineup, we do preferably like to go down our right edge, but we are starting to switch it up now with Luke Metcalf back in the lineup, and I feel like he's taking a little bit more of the reins. Notably from the Manly game, I think we scored both our tries down the left edge, so it can gun left as well. But from the start of the year as well, bro, it could go anywhere, because the middle, we got Adam Fanor-Blake, that's a notable try scorer for us, and for a decent period this season was actually our top try scorer. So it's just, it can happen each and every way. Just we need the confidence and just the ability to just to overcome things, to really continue on and score from any point of the field that we can. It usually is not from long range tries. Like, we don't really score anything from our opposite end. We're not really like a Gold Coast Titans with AKP, stuff like that. Usually we have to try a couple of cracks on your line first. We are definitely one of the worst teams of getting into good field position and not capitalising on great field position. So it does take us a little bit to get over the line, but as soon as we get a roll on, that's where it kind of can get a little bit of trouble for us.
Now, the Sharkies team, does Nico Hines playing? Does that scare you at all? Do you want him not to play, or are you like, yeah, bring it on, Nico, if he plays not fast?
I'm interested, bro. A lot of rumours coming out that he's training well. So I would think that he would be back and ready to go. it's tough, bro, because I think you guys, as Sharkies fans, from what I see over social media, and a lot of guys are very conflicted on what their preferred half pairing would be. I still sit on, like, I think a lot of people probably forget on what Nico Hines is like. Like, I feel like this year's been a really unfortunate year for Nico Hines, and, like, kind of, ruined his rep a little bit. I don't understand why people are sort of looking at him and not, like, looking at how great he is. Like, his short side rates are incredible. I love that. You know, we spoke about this on Wise Up TV, the way your attacking sets go. He allows an early ball to your centers or your edge back rollers to use their footwork and move a little bit more. Like, it's not so much that he goes deep into a line and hits a short ball. It's more of the fact that he allows your outside men to actually work. And when you got players like Sifa Talakai and Iro, you don't want to cut off a lot of their space. You want to allow to have time to wind up and let everything go. So I would be more worried with Nico Hines in the lineup there. But I think Atkinson's been incredible for you guys this year when both those boys have been absent. And shout out to Braden Trindle, Caboolture boy, my bro. I actually I was born in Caboolture, you know, grew up around Caboolture and that. So Braden Trindle, bro, Caboolture boy. So either way, man, you're going to be very, very scary on the weekend. I do think that.
So are you gonna tip a Sharks victory, or you think the Wales can get the job done?
I'm pretty sure Wise on TV, bro. I tipped the Sharkies victory. You know, it'd be kind of silly of me to think that in the form that we're in now, that we can just turn it on like, you know, a light switch and just put it up against you. But the Warriors have done that in the past. So, but I'll be tipping a Sharks victory because I want to see it with my eyes first from our boys.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, well, that's the match preview. A couple of other fun questions for you. Who do you think the greatest centre is in New Zealand Warriors history?
Oh, okay. So I've been going back and forth with a lot of these. Clint Tupou is the biggest one that comes to mind. I think all Warriors fans will end up, you know, putting his name up in the lights. Jerome Abadi's got to be up there as well. I think that not so much what he did in our jersey, but Nigel Vungana, we had him obviously before he went to the Doggies. He was incredible for the Dogs. But
we had him as well.
For the Wars. Incredible player, right? I love Nige. He's incredible. But I think Clint Tupou, bro, would probably be the easiest name to throw up and say number one for sure.
All right, well, I'm going to put this to you. Andrew Ettinghausen, 0. Clinton Tupou, 0. Gerard Beale, 1.
That's not premiership tally, is it?
It's premiership tally. Come on. Gerard Beale. Look, we're even named.
I love Gerard Beale. What's
Gerard Beale like for your guys? What's your take on Gerard Beale? We talk about Gerard Beale a lot. I want to get Gerard Beale on this podcast so much. He's just a heralded Sharks legend in our eyes.
Bro, shout out to Bill, man. He's bounced around multiple different teams, and I feel like when we had him was more so towards the later end of his career anyway. You know, we had him paired up with Blake Ashford for moments there. I think that was just before the COVID period or around that COVID period before he ended up leaving us and that. But great talent, bro. I used to love his footwork. Just a sturdy centre, bro. He just got in there, done his work. He wasn't going to be like this breakout. Like, he's not let's say he's not a Kale Ito, but he's a consistent. You know, like I would similar, like look at him as like, you know, remember the Jack Reed types, the Brent Tate types of the world?
Yep.
Very similar to me of those sort of names I'll throw up there. So yeah, shout out to Gerard Beale, my bro.
I forgot about Blake Ashford played for you guys as well as us. There's another one. There's quite a few. Next season we'll do a combined all-time Warriors Sharks players who have played for both teams. And we'll see how that.
I love doing combined teams, bro. Hey, you got me going now, bro. I can't wait.
We won't. We'll hold out for that one. That now next year. We did a nice little fun segment. So Ash from Wise Up TV. But how you guys tell us a bit about your channel? I really had fun with you guys on Tuesday night going on your show. They do a really fun segment where they have the opposition fan have to talk through with them picking a combined lineup. They're completely one-eyed trying to convince me that Charles Nicole clocks that. Oh, yeah.
This team won out on the team list. You know, if we were in good form, I would argue so many more points.
Yeah, well, you're not in good form. Like, come on.
What do you mean?
You're not in good form. Yeah, you know, you're not in good form. The entire team should be the Sharks team, except for Aiden Fadil, Blake, and Mitch Barnett. It should be 1 through 17 Sharks.
It's an incredible channel, bro. You know, it was great to have you on. Obviously, you had a ton of fun. We had a ton of fun having you on. But basically, you know, the start of it all and like where it really came from. Like Levon actually started the channel. He was doing a lot of like game play breakdowns. So on Instagram, on Wise Up TV on Instagram. that's where I found him. And, you know, I was doing YouTube at the time. So I was just doing solo creation, just making it work. Like, you know, I started off doing gaming videos and started talking about footy, which is, you know, I love sport in general. I can go EPL, basketball, NBA, all that sort of stuff. So that's what I was doing on YouTube. And I started talking about the Warriors being my, you know, my loved New Zealand Warriors, the NRL team. So I got into his chat and I was like, bro, I love your videos, all that sort of stuff. And then he's like, oh, bro, I've seen your videos. And as soon as I heard that, I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, you know, someone's seen my videos. So we started chatting. And it took about a year. He got me on his potty. We started talking a little bit more. And then I think I was working night shift at the time. And I think I just jumped off night shift and I messaged him. And I was like, hey, bro, like, if you're ever interested in, like, you know, having me on the channel, if I can help out in any area, like, let me know. You know, and he ended up, shouting me out. He was like, yeah, bro, like, jump on. And I think this year's been our full consistent year from start to finish, from pre-season all the way through, and we've grown like substantially. I think, you know, within that year period, about 1,000 subs, probably a little bit more over that. And it's just been incredibly fun. Like, you know, Levon's been amazing. He's seen, like, he always talks to me and, like, you know, gives me great feedback. And he's been amazing for, like, my YouTube journey. And not only, you know, with Bars Up TV, but my own solo YouTube channel and multiple other things that I'll be doing on the side. So, he's been incredible, bro. And I'm sure, you jumped on, you had a lot of fun. I feel like we're
so much fun.
Also, we love to break things down as well, bro. And I think, you know, with Warriors fans, you know, New Zealand's a mainly rugby union based, you know, country, but they're slowly getting into the rugby league. And I feel like it's really good to, like, kind of give New Zealand, you know, the eyes of, like, what to really look for in rugby league and what the differences are. And, you know, some people would call out players for how they're not performing and that, but not really seeing the intricacies of what these players are doing out in that football field. So I think that's the best area of what Wazart TV brings to YouTube, I do believe.
Well, Sharks fans, if you want to follow another team's channel, and Sharks fans do like the Warriors, they're everyone's second favourite team. Waz Up TV do a great job breaking down rugby league plays. And so if you want to subscribe to an opposition fan channel so you can learn about rugby league, Levon and Ash do an absolutely terrific job breaking down the tries. Just sadly for them this season, they've been focusing a lot more on defensive plays and opposition tries than Warriors tries. Ash, last question for you, mate. You're obviously a learned rugby league fan. What's your take on the Sharkies this season? How far can the Sharks fans expect their team to go?
It's a confidence thing for you guys, right? Like, it really has to, when you come to the finals, I think you just need to get over that hump. I spoke to a good mate of mine last night, and I was looking at the Roosters, right? And I think the Roosters, you know, team list on paper, absolutely incredible. Top to bottom, incredible. But I think their stat is they haven't beaten a top 4 team from memory this year at all. You know, obviously you guys beat them as well. And I don't feel like they get as much talk about them doing that as the Sharkies actually get. You know, back when the Sharkies were on the run, obviously there was a lot of talk of, like, you guys hadn't beaten a top 4 team, you hadn't beaten a top 8 team. There's a lot of talk about that. There's other teams like that have been, like, put on, like, the shelf, and I feel like it's also due to the team list that they have. But you just have an incredible team list that you got there too, and I do believe that as soon as you get momentum, and as soon as you really get your leg up in the contest, you're really hard to stop. It's just getting over that first little hump. And you got the team to do it this year. You got strike outside backs. You got one of the best backlines in the competition. I do believe one of the most underrated backlines. You need them healthy and ready to go. We spoke about this on Waz Up TV. I think injuries have definitely hampered you for, you know, final series in past. But hopefully you get your connections in order. And then you look at your edge back rollers of Britton Acorda and Teague Wilton. Beautiful line running edge back rollers. And defensively, you're a top 3 team in the competition right now too, which is what the Sharkies had struggled with in a couple of years past too. So obviously Moylan moving away. Attacking wise, Moylan was incredible, but defensively, it definitely was an area that you guys didn't fix up on, and you definitely have fixed up on that area. So I think you guys can actually make it. I'd probably pick you guys like preliminary. I think you can get all the way to the prelim. It's when your top 4 teams will start to really find their way, and I think that's where you come up either against the Panthers, the Roosters, the Storm, and those are the teams really to beat at the moment. I think that you could probably have your day against maybe like a Melbourne Storm type of team and the Sharkies, but if you find the Panthers in that you know, that race for the finals, I think it's going to be a tough ask. So I think preliminary, bro, and I think that it's the same spot where we were last year. We were really happy with that. I think you guys would be incredibly happy with that if you get a good win to start into the finals and just, you know, build off the top of that. You got an incredible coach, incredible system. I think it would be. I'm excited for the Sharkies this year. I really am.
All right, you heard it here first. Ash from Wires Up TV thinks the Sharkies are going to go to the prelim. I think that's a pretty good take. I think we can win. I think we can win one playoff match this year, and I think we'll finish in the top 4. All right, Sharks fans. Well, that was the opposition fan preview with Ash from Wires Up TV. Sharkies take on the Warriors, 7:35 p.m. kickoff at PointsBet Stadium on Saturday night. There is a massive promotion for the Sharks for a member to do. I think it's a 30 or 40 meter kick for $60,000. So get down there. And sadly, as you know, Ash, I pulled my hamstring. So it would just be ironic. I would fancy myself from 40 meters as well. So sadly, if I'm down there, someone is going to have to kick the kick for me. Actually, they're not going to kick the kick. They never draw me out of the damn crowd. I've been waiting, Sharks, waiting for you to pick me out of the crowd or give me a damn members prize. Not that I'm bitter. So get down there, Sharkies fans. And thank you to everyone for getting this far through the video. Do hit the like and subscribe button if you're on YouTube. Follow us on any of the podcasts. We will be back on Saturday night after full time with a debrief of hopefully a Sharks victory. But in the meantime, please stay safe out there. Yeah, come on. Please stay safe out there. Get down to Shark Park this week. Thank you, Ash. You're an absolute gentleman. You're a legend. Follow us on Wires Up TV, and we'll see you guys Saturday night. Go the Sharks.
Let's go up the ones.
For over 50 years, people have come to see the Sharks play. Talent, skill, speed, intelligence, elite level athleticism. That's not these guys. Biased, one-eyed, opinionated, more often wrong than right. They make up for their complete lack of talent with pure dribble, gibberish, and enthusiasm. This is the E.T. Stand Podcast.